All right. Hi, everybody. This is Elizabeth with L3 Brand Live. And we are here today talking with Miss ShaDonna Mcphaul, the Mo You Know. She is pretty awesome. If you haven't had a chance to meet her yet, matter of fact, there we go.
Yeah.
So,
Hey.
well, hello. I just wanted to make a grand entrance. So, I thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show today. This virtual thing is pretty crazy. Um, it's definitely a change, but we're still making it happen. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and keep talking while I go ahead and get us connected because people are wanting to see everything on Facebook too. So introduce yourself because you can always introduce yourself best, and tell everybody a little bit more in depth about what you do.
Absolutely. Yes. My name is ShaDonna Mcphaul, and I am originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I am a retired veteran, a mom, and I founded a nonprofit called Mo's Heroes. And I also have the Mo You Know Marketing and Media Consultant Services, where I serve emerging entrepreneurs and I help them get more media, marketing, and public relations exposure. So, Liz, I just want to thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Um, so today I just wanted to have a bit of a relatable conversation because in the media field, there's so much that goes on that people don't talk about.
Mhm.
Um, there, there's a lot of stress. There's competition. There's
Mhm.
divisiveness, and on top of that, we have to worry about saying the right things and handling situations in the right way. A lot of times our opinions are kind of stifled because we're media. And so, today I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the experiences that you have, um, talk a little bit about how you made it to where you are today. And then we're going to delve into something else a little bit later, just talking to people, giving some tidbits and jewels about how they can secure their following. Because there's a lot of people, a lot of small businesses right now struggling, and
Mhm.
people that have tried to reinvent themselves during the pandemic. And they're trying to figure out, okay, how do I get from point A to point B right now so that I can secure income? So, I think that's something that's necessary for us to kind of give our expertise, so to speak, and be able to help those folks out. So, would you mind telling us a little bit about your journey? Like, how did you get into the field you are right now?
Yes. So, like I stated earlier, I am a retired Air Force veteran, and my skill set in the military, and I was an information manager, and I got to work in a lot of different career fields. And when I was at my first base, that was Eglin Air Force Base, I did a stint in public affairs. So, in public affairs, you have two sides. You have community relations and media relations. And I really started to enjoy that piece of my life, that piece of my job. And guess what? I got orders. So now I had to leave Eglin and go to Korea and do all of the things. I had to leave public affairs, but I knew that I still love to do this. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is what I want to do. And growing up, we all watched Oprah, Jenny Jones, Ricky Lake, Montel Williams, and all of these talk shows. And I'm like, oh, I want to be a talk show host. I always knew in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do media and be on TV and do all of those things. But like I said, I was in the military, and they paid me to disseminate information the way they wanted it disseminated, right?
Right.
So fast forward a couple of years later, I was stationed in Hawaii. And I don't know how many of you have been to Hawaii, but Hawaii is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. But when I got to Hawaii, I saw that there were so many, not only homeless veterans, but homeless people in Hawaii. And I'm like, oh my God, why are these people homeless? Don't they know about A, B, C, D, E, F, G? So what I realized is they didn't know. I at first took for granted what I thought people knew because they didn't know that the things that they needed to know. So I'm like, okay, well, how can I use my expertise and my skill set to get this information out to people? So that's how I started Mo's Heroes, because I wanted to help get the information out to our veterans and to the community, so they know that, hey, this is where you can go get clothes, this is where you can go get food, this is how you can get your benefits, this is how you can get back on your feet. And as I was getting all of the media attention that I earned, it's called earned media, that's why I say that, I got a lot of earned media. I'm like, well, okay, I know how to do this. The process is the process. So I can do the things that I did for me, for other nonprofits and other small business owners and other emerging entrepreneurs, and help them get earned media and or advertising or whatever they need to do to get more visibility for their business. I said, that's what I'm going to do. And fast forward a couple of years later, I retired in 2016 and moved back home. And it just really kind of exploded from there. I did an interview with Greg Barnes of ABC 11. And when that hit, it was like, okay, now I'm somebody. Now people are calling. Now people are taking notice. Because when I just try to do it by myself and knock on the door, and like, hey, I'm Mo. I'm from Fayetteville. I can help veterans. They're like, yeah, go do. And this is a real conversation. These ladies were like, yeah, go do something in Fayetteville and come back and see us. I'm like, oh. I ain't even gonna lie, I was devastated. My heart was broken. I'm like, I really just like, okay, well, if Fayetteville don't want to work with me, I don't want to work with Fayetteville. I was in my feelings. Because I knew that I had something to offer, but they didn't know me. And what I realized is they didn't know me. So I had to go do the things, collaborate and do the things that I knew how to do. But yeah, so I went and talked to Greg Barnes, and like I said, I did some more things with the Fayetteville Observer, and it was just like, okay, once she was like a domino effect. After you get one, then once you get one, you can get the rest. So that's kind of how my whole media journey here in Fayetteville got started.
That's awesome. You have a great story, and I know you just gave us the abbreviated version, but people don't know the half of what it takes to not only to get into the field, but to get respect, to get the relationships built, the time and effort that it takes, traveling, post or prior to COVID, going out, traveling and meeting, shaking hands, building connections so that you can have people that'll support you. It's a lot. I know me personally, I've been building relationships since I was about 13 or 14. And, working in supporting and promotion for radio and things like that. And it's just been a constant cycle ever since then. You don't ever stop. And people say, I've had people come to me. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you, okay, how can you show me how to get into what you're doing? I've had people come and ask me that. And the only thing that I could say is, I can help you to a certain extent. I can, give support and things like that, but the relationships can't be given.
Right.
You have to get out there and make those yourself, and having those contacts, having people know what you do, know your work, all of that allows you to get into other doors. So, I think that's something that, like I spoke to you about the other day, that's really essential, is building a team of folks. Now, this might be a sensitive subject for some people. I say that because in media, like I said, it is very competitive a lot of times, but I see groups like the Charlotte, the National Association of Black Journalists. I see how they connect and how they move and they support each other. It's so beautiful. But you don't see that really here at all. We don't have any type of real association, and if we do, it's more cliquish. And I don't like cliques. I like a team. I like community, people working together. So, I think that's something that's definitely necessary for us to work on. And I look forward to working with you.
Absolutely.
So now getting a little bit to the other topic, because I want to make sure we have enough time to talk about that. The main thing I wanted to do today was give people an opportunity to hear from you about your thoughts on what can be done to increase their social media following, their engagement, and just give them some tidbits on how to actually secure their following, not just have it on Facebook or Instagram, but how can they actually secure their following?
Yes, absolutely. And I am glad you said going back to what you said about the collaborations. And I've never been a person, even in the military, the military was really competitive. You had to compete for rank and this and that. But I've never been one of those people that was like, oh, mine, mine, mine. And I know that's to be true. And like I said, especially in the nonprofit world, but some people are just so territorial. And I can honestly say I am not one of those territorial people. Oh, it's either me or her, or me or is either I'm not a me or person. It's like it can be all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want you to know that you have my support 100%. I am never here to compete with anybody for anything, because there's enough.
Right.
I know growing up, we always had enough food. We always had enough of everything. So, it wasn't like, okay, I can't do this because she's going to get it or he's going to get it. So I've never had that mindset. So that's why I think I've been able to be as successful as I am now. If, and they say success is relative. But, to answer your question about social media, and that's one of the things, I do. I help people with their social media followings and help create content. And the biggest thing that I will tell a new business owner, or even somebody that's been on social media for a while, is you have to show up. You got to be consistent. You
Right.
have to you got to show up for your people.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's great to, like I said, to make the post memes and to do all of the funny things. Cause I know I try to balance my personal page with still personal things, because I think a lot of times people get so wrapped up in their business page becomes their personal page, and people tune that out because they want you on your personal page. It's okay to post some of your sales, your promotions and all. You can talk about business on your personal page, but don't turn your personal friends and family off talking about business on your personal page all the time, because most of the time your friends and family are not your target audience.
Right.
And you do not, and I hear a lot of people say, keep your family and friends, and market to your target audience. Know your audience, know who your target audience is, niche it down and really know the people that you want to talk to, and find out where they are. Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Snapchat? And there's so many different social media platforms that, that's competing for our times. Personally, I don't know, I made a post the other day. Did you watch I think it's called The Social Distance, The Social Divide? It was something on Netflix. I don't remember the name, but they talked about, social media and how it's really just taking over our lives. And I'm like, oh man, and some people are like, well, I want to delete social media. Why? You just got to know how to use the data.
Right.
With anything, everybody loves to make things seem like it's evil or the devil. No, you just got to know how to get the most out of what's presented to you.
You're right. You're right. I think it's like once you figure out the correct do's and don'ts of social media, then you have to figure out how to get through the maze that they've created for us to reach your following, especially with the algorithms and the ever-changing system. Like as far as now, I think we're focusing more on like the hashtags versus hashtags used to be just Twitter, and then you would see it on Instagram, and now it's come full circle to Facebook. So, it takes a lot. And then another thing that I always mention is for people to make sure that outside of their social media following, they have another way for people to reach them. So if
Absolutely.
Facebook is out of whack, if it's shut down, if you get locked out, whatever it is, you still have access to your people. So whether that's through your website, getting subscribers through your website, also a text to number, people can you can get their information that way and stay in touch with them. Email blast, just general subscribing that way. So there's so much that people can do to be able to reach out to their followers and have their followers have a way to reach out to them. But I think it's so important that we hold on, because we basically have given our followers to social media networks. We take our friends, our family, our connections, our relationships, and we dump all of that into this virtual system. And then they take it and they're like, all right, we're going to market to all the people that you brought to us. And then you can pay us to access those people. So,
And you know what's funny is, as much as I love social media, and I know you love public relations too, I love offline marketing. I love those meetings, those networking events, those one-on-one lunches. And I know they tell you, you want to market to the masses, and that's great, and you do. But I tell people now, deals are made at the table. And what I tell my clients, my public relations clients, I'm like, anybody can sell you an ad. Anybody can sell you some ad space on the radio, some airtime, on TV, the radio. But it's nothing like being at the table with your ideal customer, that you get to hear, yes, one-on-one, this is what I can offer you. This is what you need. This is what I can offer you. Hey, let's do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, social media is great, but there's nothing like that one-on-one conversation. Nothing.
You're right. I love the old-fashioned connections. Like back in the day, I sound like I'm so old, but back in my day, we would go out. We had the street teams. We had teams of people. We had our matching shirts on, and we'd go swarm the parking lots. We blanket the whole area, the whole street with flyers, and we post them up in different places. We go to the stores, the retail stores, build those relationships, drop them off on the counter, have them put them in the bags. And then outside of that, it was, like you said, the person-to-person contacts. I was dealing with the music industry for a while, and I still do, behind the scenes. But in the main scheme of things, I dealt with those type of events all the time in that industry, going out, and it was always something going on, especially in Atlanta. And so I'd be down there, and it was like, all right, we go get dressed up and have on all our promotional stuff. If you were artists, they have on their shirts, their matching shoes, everything, was brand. And then you show up, and it's like, who can out network, in a lot of the competitions, they would include that as a checklist item. Like, okay, did you network? Did you, was your performance good? Did you interact? Did the crowd response there? Like, it was a combination of those things, but those are fundamentals. As light as people take it, it's not just something that independent artists benefit from. That's what we should be doing as entrepreneurs. People should be doing if they're just trying to build a brand for themselves, if they're a model, if they're a cook, if they're fashion designer. They need to, everywhere they go, it needs to be, this is my brand. Even if I don't say a word, you see my brand, you see what my brand represents. And so I just think that there's a lot that people are taking for granted now, because it's like, oh, I can click on my phone and on the computer, but that's it. So.
Yeah. And it's so funny you say that. I don't know if you can see it, but I have my little microphone.
I see it.
I'm like, I need to wear my Most Heroes hat, but you're so right. People you need to have something. I'm not saying, every time, because I know some people, every time they go out, because I know what I did when I started Most Heroes, and I still do, I have the hats, the shirts, all of the things. But I think, not that I'm so well known now, but I'm like, okay, Mo, you can wear regular clothes now. I think you got to the point. You don't have to wear, but I still love having my brand stuff, because I know, all of the people will buy the Michael Kors bags and the Coach bags. And I was so proud of my little Most Heroes bag. I'm like, y'all can have all that. This is mine. So, there's nothing like owning your stuff too, right?
Exactly. It's, like I said, it's about showing people who you are, who your brand is. People will follow you anywhere once they, so to speak, fall in love with you. So you have to let them know, okay, I love how chic that look is. I love how, unique that their style is. I like the way that every time I see them, they have this watch on, or they have such and such. And it's not like it's all materialistic. It's just about, you have to be somebody worth following.
Yeah.
you know? And I don't say that to be harsh, but you just, in other words, like think about it in the terms of music, right? Or an actress. If you get on the screen and you're just like, okay, I'm not gonna say the person's name I was gonna say because I don't want anybody coming for me, but we won't go there. But
Mm-hmm.
you see people on the screen, and I hate a movie or a show where they're like, no, stop, don't go. I can't take this anymore. Like, it's not believable,
Yeah.
you know? And so, but if you get somebody that's on there and you see the emotion in their face, they got the Kerry Washington look and the ugly face, and it's real. And you believe them, like, oh, that really hurt her. Like, you know? And so that's the way you have to be with your brand. You have to be believable. You can't go and talk
Yeah.
about I'm the best in the game, but then, you know, when people see you out places, you're not confident.
Yeah.
You're not, you're not following up. You don't have the material. You don't have your product ready. Like everything has to be in sync. But I think that, in order to kind of rein things back in, I think it's important if you want to secure your following,
Mm-hmm.
you have to first know who you are, believe in
Mm-hmm.
yourself, even if nobody else does, and then present yourself accordingly.
Absolutely. And I think I just had this conversation with one of my old Air Force buddies. I called him today. It's his birthday, and haven't spoken to him in a while. But I'm like, let me just see, because he had posted his phone number, and it's still the same phone number. And we were talking about how you have to be so comfortable with yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, you don't have to care about what, your mama say, your daddy say, your boss say, what nobody in this world thinks or believe about you, as long as you know that you are who you say you are, as long as you do what you say you can do. And like you said, come through for the people. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was telling a lady, my reputation and my character, I'm always making sure that my character, because they say, reputation is what other people think about you, and your character is what is the real you. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I always want to make sure that I am who I say I am. I do what I say I can do. And you do it on time. And if you can't do it on time, or if something happens, especially I spend so much time apologizing about the internet, because that's not, I don't control the internet, but I still like, hey guys, we're gonna try this, but we're gonna say this prayer.
Right.
Because it's just like, okay, control what you can control, deliver what you can deliver when you say you can deliver it. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can't, let them know you can't. And I
Yeah.
think people, and having those conversations, that communication will go a long way too. And don't ghost people when you can't do something, like, oh my God. And I don't want to go into a soapbox, but communication is everything, and I'll just leave it at that, because I can go way left or way right and be like, Mo, bring it back. But just communicate with people. Just communicate, let them know, hey, this is where I am with it, and especially, in sales. Oh my God. So I have a love-hate relationship in sales, for sales, because, you do have to go out and try to talk to these people, and they'll give you the runaround. And I'm like, just tell me no. I'm good with the hard no. If you don't want to be bothered, I'll take it. But if you really want me to come back, and if you really want to do this, and if right now it's just not a good time, say
Mm-hmm.
that. But if you don't want what I'm selling, just tell me no. And there will be no hard feelings. We'll still go out, have a drink, do all the things that we need to do to maintain our relationship, if we in fact do have a relationship. But yeah, just tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, you're like me. You like people just to be straightforward, not string you
Yeah.
along, you know. But yes, before let's see what time it is. We got a few more minutes left. I wanted to give you a time, and it's okay. I know we started a few minutes late, so we can go over if we need to. But I wanted to give you opportunity to tell people how they can get in touch with you, as well as how they can find out more about Most Heroes, how they can get an interview on your show, and please plug your upcoming inaugural show.
Yes.
We want them to know about what you have coming up, because I'm super proud of you, and I think
Thank
that
you.
that's something that people need to know and understand, like how we have to celebrate each other when we have accomplishments, especially when we work so hard,
Mm-hmm.
and in this business it takes money, time, effort, headache, stress,
Yep.
like everything, and we sacrifice a lot. So we deserve to be celebrated, and we
Yep.
deserve to be able to sit down sometimes and just relax and,
Mhm.
enjoy the benefits of what we've created too.
I absolutely agree with you wholeheartedly on that. And that's one of the things that I really love about, the Mo, both the Mo, and Most Heroes, but particularly the Mo, because I love celebrating people. I love saying some people, they're really humble and they were like, oh, well, it's no big deal. Yes, it is a big deal because like you said, we go through so much that people don't even know about. So I tell people, celebrate the small wins, celebrate the big wins, celebrate yourself. If nobody else is clapping for you, clap for yourself. Yes, because it is a lot that people don't see. Like you say, it's a lot of no's that people don't, because I don't tell people all my no's. You will see you celebrate the yeses, but I'm like, man, forget such and such. They didn't tell you, they didn't want to work with me. I don't do, nobody does that. You only see the yeses. So people think is everything is sweet because you don't celebrate the no's. But I would love, for people to be able to work with people, to network with people. And if you want to reach out to, the Mo, we are the Mo, 214. And I had to put 214 as my birthday because, there's a lot of the Mo, out there. So the Mo, 214 on all social media. The MoYouKnow.info is the website. And as far as Most Heroes go, we're the Most Heroes on all social media and mostheroes.org. And I know, like I said, it started out with me doing the media and the marketing for Most Heroes because I wanted to help veterans. And that's still a passion of mine. But what I realize is I have to help the other people who can help the veterans for the veterans to see the help instead of me trying to get the help to see the veterans, if that makes sense. Because I'm like, okay, and it is a lot when I tell people I'm a professional beggar. I'm like, but I'm tired of begging. I'm like, okay, I want to work with these people where they can see, okay, if you need credit repair, here you can go over here for that. If you need a house and all of the things, because like I said earlier, I'm an information manager. I'm a marketer. I do public relations. I don't do makeup. I don't do hair. I don't do any of the things that I help my veterans connect to, but I promote the people that can do all of the things that you need. And there's so much help out there. There's absolutely so much help out there. But like I said, the main thing that we have to do is connect. Right. And once, like I said earlier, once you get connected to one person, you're in. And I think we have a mutual mentor in Don Bennett. And Don, shout out to Don. Yeah. Because once Don saw me in the Fayetteville Observer had did an article after ABC 11 did, Don called me and he had plugged me in, and it's been off to the races since then. So that is one of the things, I'm going to be forever grateful to Don. But I was telling, awesome. Yes, Don knows everybody. And I used to, because, my name's ShaDonna, and he would treat me like a daughter. I'm like, yes. And I started saying, yes, Dad. And so people started thinking, he was like, you need to go talk to that person. You need to go talk to that person. I'm like, yes, Dad. And I was like, oh, that's your daughter. And he just would look at me like he wanted probably to choke me. But it was so great. And that's one of the things that I am so passionate about. I tell people, when people get to Fayetteville, I want them to call me. And when people leave that gate at Fort Bragg, I want them to call me, because it's so important when you get to a new city and when you're leaving the military, that transition it's hard. We all know it's hard if you don't have somebody holding your hand, if you don't have a Don Bennett holding your hand, helping you get connected. So that's what, in a nutshell, that's what I try to do with both of my brands, is help people connect to the individuals, the businesses, the resources, the network, all of the things that they need to live that life that they want to live. And I want to say, living your best life. I want people to live their best life. And their best life is their best life. They define what their best life is. They define what the quality of life is, because your quality of life, what you think is a quality of life and what I think is quality of life is not the same. So the individual has to define what quality of life means for them. And once I know what your quality of life means to you, okay, well, that's where we need to go. You tell me the final destination and I'm gonna get us there
Mm.
with all of my network and all of the people and all of the things. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it now. And on Veterans Day, it is so funny because I'm actually going to launch 2 shows. Another opportunity just came this week.
Wow.
Yes, shout out to Miss Tamika in the Mogul channel. And there are other opportunities for other people to have shows. So Miss Tamika has created this whole platform where folks can have shows on her channel. So, I've been helping her get the word out for that. And I'm like, there's still a couple of slots left. So guys, if you want your own show on the Mogul channel, please inbox me. Because like I said, I check all of the social medias for both of the brands. So that's the easiest way to get in touch with me. Or you can call 877-MO-KNOWS and that'll get me too.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Everything that you're doing, like I said, hats off to you. I know when we first connected, I met you as Most Heroes, and then from there, it was just like, okay, I started seeing, I was like, she does this. We have so much in common, but the problem is you can see people that you have stuff in common with, but then if you're both busy, you're just like, hey, I want to, give me 1 second. But hold on.
Yeah, because you remember we went to Buffalo, we used to do the fundraisers at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we sat down, and that's the thing too, that I am in the space now where I want to get, okay, I've done all of the busy things, done all the networking. I personally want to get back to those one-on-ones, to those dinners. COVID put a dent on a lot of that too. But now that it's, I don't want to say completely safe, but it's okay, let's wear a mask, let's go, let's social distance. But that human connection, you can't beat it.
Right.
You
and
cannot.
The power of having so many minds under one roof, like so many diverse, powerful minds, like you can accomplish a lot just by sitting there and you saying, hey, you know what? I want to start this for the youth. Oh, you know what? I know a building down the street. You want to check it out? Like I love it.
That's it. That is it. It's just like anything that you want to do, if you execute on it, like I said, I can connect you, you can connect people, but if you make that connection and then they don't show up or they don't do the thing that they need to do, if they don't turn in the paperwork, and that's where, I'm putting my Most Heroes hat back on, you got to do the things. People will give you their requirements. They'll tell you what the criteria is, but it's up to you to meet that criteria and you to execute to get the people, the producers, whether you're trying to get on TV or the radio or whoever, you still got to produce something.
You know what? You just sparked another thing I want to touch on. And like I said, I'm good. I got a few minutes. I don't care if we went over here. This is such a pet peeve of mine, but not because it just hurts me. It's because it's hurting those that actually are trying to run a business and trying to build a brand. A lot of times people they don't really understand the title publicist, right? And so they think publicist means a manager, marketing team, the graphic designer, the web designer, the consultant, photographer, the videographer. And then I'm like, hold on, that's the whole campaign you're talking about. And there's people that do all that. Me, I do a lot of the things in-house myself, and I have other people that help because I can't be everywhere at once. But at the end of the day, I think it's important, like I said, it's not to chastise anybody because a lot of people don't know. We have to understand the roles that each person plays and understand the budget that comes along with each of those roles. A photo shoot for a typical brand would be what? Let's just say a ballpark figure is what, like $200? $150,
$200. And it could go depending on the photographer and their level of expertise and where they are in their brand. So it's just like, okay, who do you want to work with? Right. So it's like everybody has a camera now. Seems like you can do your photo shoot on your phone, but is those photos on your phone going to be acceptable to that magazine? Are those photos on your phone 300 DPI?
Right, that part. So that part. And so, like I said, it's not to rag on anybody. It's just I want to educate people to understand you need to have a budget for your photos, for your videos. You need to have a budget for your PR campaigns, budget for advertising, because PR is not the same thing as advertising. PR is relationship building, placement, interviews, opening the doors to certain things, one-on-one connections. But with advertising, you have to have, because you're in the radio field, as far as $60 some and even higher per spin for 15 seconds. And it takes the frequency in order to even be heard. So, just look at $65 times $650 to play your commercial, a 15-second commercial 10 times for one day. So, people say, hey, I got $150. What can I do?
Get out my face. That's what
and so, but even with that, I always tell people, I say, I never turn people away for marketing and for PR, because I like to help people with their brands, but I'm honest too. Like, hey, I can take that $150 and we can do some social media blasts for you, and maybe throw in the e-blast. But outside of that, you can't get sponsor ads. You're not going to get a billboard. You're not going to get placement and interviews all over the place. It takes money to make money. So we have to believe in ourselves enough to invest in ourselves.
Yeah. But I will say $150, you can get an ad with the Fayetteville Press. Hook me. Let me hook you up.
Yes.
And that's another thing that I love to tell people. I'm glad you hit on the budget. And that's one of the things, like, okay, guys, is levels and layers to this. I know you don't, small business owners, I know you don't have all of the money to do all of the things that you need to do. But okay, start with the newspaper ad. Okay, you're gonna get some business. Okay, now next level, whether you want it to be radio, TV, whatever, we build the layers. Okay. We know the prices, because the prices are the prices, right? We already know how much the rates are for all of these media outlets. So, okay, well, what's your budget? Okay, well, this is what we can do now. You get some more money, we'll do something else. And I always equate it to, when you get hurt, when you have put a Band-Aid on, you don't remove that Band-Aid. You don't stop doing this thing that's working. You put something else on it. Then you put another layer on it. Then you put another layer on it. Now, okay, they saw you in the newspaper. Now they heard you on the radio. Now you're in this meeting. Now they recognize, right. you're at the chamber meeting. Now they're like, oh, you such and such. So, you have to do, and I tell people, you have to do marketing, advertising, and you have to do PR. You have to do both. You have to pay to play. And like I said, there's a lot of earned media opportunities, but like I said, it takes those relationships, and it takes the people the magazines and the newspapers that you're trying to get into. You got to be a good fit for their audience. And I have that conversation, when people be like, oh, well, such and such does this, and this, and this outlet didn't accept them because that's not who their outlet services, or that's not who their viewers or their readers, that's not going to be a hit. And people are in the media industry. They are here to serve their audience. They're not here to promote your book. They're not here to promote your CD. They will, if you have another message that comes with it, that's a good fit for their audience. But you can't come on, hey, buy my album, $7.99, we streaming here, no.
Sure can. And you can't call the 103.9 The Light and want to get Cardi B on there. So it definitely has to align and make sense, as well as bring the listeners on. We don't want to lose listeners by bringing on a guest. So it's a lot, but I didn't understand. People don't understand a lot of things. So that's why I wanted to do this call, and I'm going to do many more in the future. Some I'd love to collaborate with you with, and be able to continue to educate people, because obviously they're not getting the information fully, or either people are just in that bad of a position where they're just like, let me just do whatever. But you have to be strategic. You have to be strategic in your plan and who you have on your team. Some people will take your money and know that you're going to get nothing from it.
And you know what? And the one thing that I learned when I first started out on radio, we would not just take your money, because that's bad on the brand. If it doesn't work and getting bad PR, Oh, baby, that is when they was people be like, oh, all PR, there's no such thing as bad PR. Yes, there is. And in advertising, you do not want people saying, oh, they just took my money and did radio don't work, or nobody's reading newspaper, or nobody's doing this. No, do not. And I know I'm not going to take your money if I know that this isn't going to work. If you're not willing to say, okay, let's start here, let's start something, and be willing to, like you said, to work the plan. But if you just think you're going to come with $150 and make $150,000 in sales, that's not going to happen.
No, not unless you got some type of, you develop the cure for COVID or something, like, I don't know. Like, it's gotta be something like, okay, all right, so I just need you to put it out there one time, and then people are going to get it. It's going to run off on its own. But no, it takes consistency. It takes frequency, consistency. And like I said, you have to have the right team. Even with social media, there's so much to block you from getting to your followers.
Yeah.
But there's workarounds. You get your people, get your team, and say, hey, look, I'm dropping this event tomorrow. We're going live with it. I need all 15 of y'all to be online at 5 o'clock. Everybody get shared. When I get on the live, I need all 15 of my people on the live, share it, interact, connect. That's how you build up your, that's how you get around the system. Let me stop. I'm giving away jewels right now, but
no, give it. You know what? And that's the thing. Give it. And synchronization. I follow a coach that we talk about synchronization. And even the big brands, like I was WWE, they had all of their people, because I follow I'm a big wrestling fan, and I had made a post. I'm like, okay, they got all of their wrestlers going live, posting, and that social media team, they're doing it. That's how you do it. And another thing I want to tell people, the messaging has to be right. People have to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And if they don't know what you're doing and why you're doing it, if it doesn't make sense, like if they can't even connect it, because that's why I'm in a place now. Well, me personally, like I said, when you first met me, I was in the veteran space, and that's all everybody knew. So it was like, okay, yes, I am a veteran. I'm still in the veteran space, but I also know how to do this. And I know sometimes in business, people just want to keep you in a box. Right. They just want to keep you in a niche. Like, I can walk and chew gum, Right. I can walk and chew gum. I can help veterans with their benefits, and I can help a veteran who already has their benefits start their business or promote their business, because you got to do both. And that's one of the things with the Mo You Know clients. I make sure, especially if they're a veteran, like, okay, you can't even get to this until you do this. Do you have your benefits? Because so many times when people leave the military, they skip the VA. Like, how you do it? Where y'all do that at? Oh, nobody told me. Well, I'm telling you now. Like, I don't even want to talk to you. Not saying I don't want to talk to you, but until you lay that foundation, until you get your benefits, until you can take that weight off of your shoulder, you're not going to be able to focus on the business like you should. If you're worried about money, if you're worried about where you're going to sleep, what you're going to eat, you're not focused on the business. I need you to be focused so we can do all of the things that we need to do. And you're not worried like, dang, I'm hungry. And like, especially, when we go to our veteran events, we always have food, because we all know nobody can think straight when they're hungry. That's why they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You got to have that. Food is so important. And, it's not just because I'm a foodie, and I know you're a foodie too. And we talk about that too. That's why, hey, let's go eat.
Look, I'm sitting here. I'm like, well, hold on. We might need to set up something real quick.
Yeah.
Go check out a new business and go support them.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I am, like I said, I know we're trying to beat COVID, but when we get to a place, there is a couple of spots. One in particular, and I also go ahead and give them shout out Marley's, because they are one of my clients. I want to do networking events there, lunchtime networking events there, where we can have those face-to-face speed marketing, speed relationship, not speed. I don't want to say speed dating, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. But those speed connections, like, hey, let me let you meet such and such. This is why I want you to meet such and such. And it's just like, okay, this is what y'all need to know about each other, and whatever comes from that comes from that.
Right.
But you know how you go to a lot of networking events and you're trying to read name tags. Oh, well, what do you do? What do you do? You know, I want to be able, when you get in that room, you're already going to know who you need to talk to and why you need to talk to them.
That sounds like an awesome idea. Definitely keep me plugged in on that. And before we wrap things up, once again, I want to get you to give everybody your social media info again and your contacts, info, website, all that good stuff, so I can make sure they can connect with you after this.
Yes, thank you again for having me. The Mo You Know 214, like I said, on all social media platforms. If you're a veteran or if you know a veteran that needs some support, that's Mo's Heroes, MOSHEROES.org. And you can call me at 1-877 Mo-Knows. But to be honest, it's better to the social media, the inbox. I can get to you and it's there, because if I'm in a meeting and I can't if I can't get to you, I don't want you to think I don't care about you. You know, leave that message and let me know. And then, you know, someone will get back with you and, you know, we'll get you going. We'll get you connected. And it might just not, I may not be the one that has what you need, but I know the person that has what you need. And you just have to do your part to, like I said, the plug, you got to plug yourself back in.
Yes. And before we go, first of all, thank you for taking the time out today and just sharing some great information with the people. And I wanted to also let everybody know about a couple events going on tomorrow. There's so many events going on right now in the community, first of all.
Election season, yeah, it's always like that this time of the year. And Halloween coming up.
Vote. I want everybody to remember we're in early voting right now. Go ahead and get your vote in. If you can get it done this weekend, get it done. We don't want to wait until November 3rd. We want to go ahead and get it done right now. And you can vote at any polling location during early voting. You can also register to vote at any of the early voting locations. But after that, on November 3rd, you're no longer able to do that at the polling locations. However, you can, in fact, still go out and get your vote done on that day. You just have to go to your specific location. You can find that information. I have it actually on my website on l3brand.com. So you guys can check that out. You can go to the Board of Elections for your area, for Cumberland County here. And they have some great information as well, ncvoter.org as well. So there's so much that we need to do, you know, in our communities, and our local elections are just as important as the national. So that was one thing I wanted to say. Also, tomorrow we have the chemo care package drop. Lakeisha Chisholm does this every year. I've been honored to partner with them over the past few years, and she does these amazing packs of Mary Kay products and gifts for the chemo patients and survivors, and puts those together. All the cars line up. Southern CC partners with the transportation piece, and they all go to Cape Fear Valley and Walmart Army Hospital and deliver those packages. So that's tomorrow. Actually, they'll be dropping those off at 12 noon at Cape Fear Valley if anyone wants to come out and support that. Let's see what else. There is a tribute to the Patriot Guard tomorrow at 3:00. Man, there's so much, like I said, I have to keep track of it. So guys, don't make fun of me, guys. But let's see, we have something else going on. See if I can find it here before we go. There's been a lot of awesome efforts as well to feed the community that's been in need too. Food boxes, produce, and meat, and so on. So tomorrow, I actually got this information from Ms. Ebony Hamad. It's called Finding a Better Me community event. That's tomorrow from 12 to 5 at 3532 Cumberland Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28306. They have free haircuts, resume building, clothing drive, emergency bag giveaways, and a lot of other awesome items to help people and free COVID testing. So anyone who
Okay.
wants to get tested can go out there. Again, that's tomorrow, the 24th from 12 to 5 at 3532 Cumberland Road. And you guys can go out there and get whatever it is that you need. Let's see. I will plug in a lot of the other information. I'm not going to hold you guys today, but I'm going to plug in some more information about what's coming up tomorrow. But if you go to l3brand.com, I try to have a list there, as well as on L3Brand Live on Facebook, and look up Elizabeth Stiff. You can also pull up that information. So are there any events that you have from your clients or that you know of going on that you want to share?
Girl, there are so many. And one of the things that I'm telling people now, especially with the Veterans Day coming up, because I will be here all day trying to list them, but I want people to still send them, tag, share, because what we know is that if people know about the events, they can go to them and they can get the help that they need. Mm-hmm. So if you know about any Veteran Day events, it doesn't even have to be for Veterans Day. Anytime you hear about something that'll support our veterans or support anything in the community, like I said, I'm here for it. I'm here to help get that word out, because that's, what I'm trained to do. So Liz, I don't know. And I know people always thank you and give you your accolades, but I do want to give you your flowers today, sis, because you are everywhere doing everything. And I know people appreciate you. I know that's not even an issue, but I see it. Like I said, I can't, I have a son, and and it's not for everybody to be everywhere doing everything, but I'm like, okay, well, if I know that, if I don't particularly need this, but I know you need this, you need to go. It ain't for me to go. You need this, not me. So thank you for getting that information out so people can go get what they need.
Right. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it does my heart good to be able to push out information and help people. I've had, a couple fires I had to put out today, and nobody knew about it but me, but it felt amazing just to be able to bless people. There's people who are struggling right now. They're really going through times, and they just need, if they don't have an actual solution to the problem, they just need to know somebody cares. And they try to help them. So I think we all need to work on that, just to continue to keep in mind as a community, as a world, keep in mind that you could be the difference in somebody making it another day or not.
Absolutely. Oh my God, say that. Because I know last month we worked with the VA, their suicide prevention month campaign. And I was big on saying, hey, suicide prevention is 365. 365. There are people, like I said, that don't know where their next meal is coming from. Lights about to get turned off, about to get evicted, all of the things they keep. Oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional because I just had this conversation right before I jumped on here. And you can't be in a space where, oh, I'm good, I'm just worried about me. And no, and that's what I see. And I'm not knocking anybody, but we can't do that right now. Now is not the time to be selfish. And I'll just leave it at that.
Right. Well, there's so much, we can say, but I'm not gonna even let us go there.
Right.
Because this will turn from a general call to something where we're just really digging into the problems that are going on in this community. And we'll do that on a different call because it still needs to be highlighted. And there's, like I said, there's people that are really in need of help. So yes. So if you want to follow up, guys, check out ShaDonna Mcphaul. You can look up the Mo you can look up Mo's Heroes and connect with her. If you have any questions for either of us, feel free to drop them on YouTube, on Facebook, on l3brand.com. And we'll definitely get back to you. So thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for being on the show today. And we just got to keep moving, keep working.
Absolutely. Like I said, we can do it together. There's nothing that we can't do. And I believe that wholeheartedly. It's just not me saying it because it's cliche. We can do it. We really can do it. It's like no question in my mind that these things that we're trying to do can get done.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. So we're gonna be active in the community here together. So when you see us out, don't be afraid to come up and ask questions and speak. And if you need information, help, resources, let us know. You know. So.
And don't be ashamed. And that's the thing, girl. We're gonna keep talking, but don't let your pride get in the way. Don't be like, well, Mo's not gonna tell nobody your business. And that's the thing. Don't be worried about who gonna find out. People gonna talk whether you're doing bad or good. Right. Don't let your pride get in the way of you getting the help that you need. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
And that's the perfect way to end this, because I think that sums up a lot throughout this call. Do not let your pride get in the way. If you need help, or if you need a team, or whatever it may be, reach out to somebody. Reach out to the right people, but reach out to somebody.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Till next time, guys, y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for tuning in with L3 Brand Live.
Bye, everybody.